Hey everybody, Mike Geary here for Geek Cast on this Monday evening. Happy 2024. Happy New Year. Well, Merry Christmas and all that gubbins. I hope you had a good one. With me tonight, we have, as always, my guest presenter, Peter Ray Allison.
Guest presenter. I've been doing this for 3 years, 4 years now.
Yeah, what am I thinking? What do I talk? My guest presenter.
Guest presenter.
My co-host. My co-host.
Thank you.
Yeah, I don't even know why. I don't even know why, because I got gas. My brain got all mixed up. Oh, not a good start for 2024. My guest. Am I going to say it again? My co-host. And I've said co-host pretty much every time. For some reason, I said guest today. My apologies, Pete. My apologies. My brain's not ready for the year. Old age, I guess. But there you go. My co-host, Peter Ray Allison.
Good evening, everyone.
And she's back. First guest of 2024 is Madam Misfit.
Yay!
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Very good.
How was your first? How was your Christmas? How was your New Year? Did you get up to anything good?
Everything good for me. Yeah, I'm a completely non-traditional person when it comes to celebrations of the winter variety. So I your basic Grinch. I am anti-Christmas.
You're anti-Christmas. What? As in completely? As in no Christmas tree, bah humbug.
Oh yeah, no tree here. I mean, my kids had a tree. I had to hold myself back from even vomiting on that, but it was like, I don't know, it all feels very fake for me. I mean, yeah, it all depends, I think, on a family upbringing and how Christmas was introduced into your lives, but for me, it was just chaos, and being a mum as well, it just adds more stress. And now that I'm a singer for a living, every penny that I earn, I don't want to be spending it on that kind of shit. I'm like kind of.
Do you not like the sort of like the whole the kids getting excited for Santa Claus and all that stuff? Does that not sort of warm your icicle heart?
I spent Christmas Day on a beach in Lanzarote, child-free.
Wow!
Yeah.
Okay. How did you manage to wangle that?
How did I wangle it? I just booked it. I mean, we have very, very good grandparents. I mean, being an entertainer, I work mainly Friday to Sunday, so they've become very, very supportive, and they love their grandchildren very dearly. So we went in the October with kids to Lanzarote. We were like, place is lovely, but the kids have made it a nightmare. And how about my husband works a very Monday, Friday 9 to 5 job. I work a very unsophisticated Friday to Sunday job.
You don't see each other very often.
Exactly. So I was like, hang on, Christmas sort of makes sense. I don't like it. I don't work. He doesn't. So yeah, it just happens. And you know what? Yeah, it was the best thing for me. I suffer quite heavily with seasonal disorder. I get quite the sadness, and being in the creatives, when I should be, if it's my like low season, I should be writing and kind of being really passionate, using that time wisely. And like, no, I'm just sat in a corner I'm basically a hedgehog. Like the hedgehogs have got it right, man. Like I could just although me getting ready tonight, I was like, oh shit, I'm a somebody. Like I've literally been living at the bottom of a Cadbury's quality box the last few weeks, and too much cheese and crackers. I'm like, oh shit, I've got to start working now. So
that's a shame.
Yeah,
I always feel slightly sad when people don't like Christmas, but I understand that so people just haven't had the same sort of like some people just it just means bad things for them and stuff, and I can kind of grasp that. But for me, like Christmas has always been amazing, and it's always been like very Christmas card sort of like thing. Family gets around, Christmas jumpers, sort of turkey and ham and carols in the morning, and we have like certain traditions that are sort of the certain traditions that have had to be adhered to. Granted, like this year, because like my dad's not here anymore and my mum's sort of older and stressing about everything and stuff, it's sort of being like we've this is really sad. Like we got stockings. My mum put stockings out for us until we were like late 30s. I'm only now not getting them, and it's kind of sad because it's that little tradition is gone, and it's sort of like all these little things that we've done growing up where we always had the music always went on at 7 o'clock in the morning. There was always sort of like you had your crumpets and your croissants in the morning, and my mum would have a brandy or something like this, and it was all very sort of wonderful, and the stockings going was sort of very sad. But yeah, I just
but I completely sympathise with you, Sarah, though, because I've got 3 kids, so Christmas is absolute stress, panic, keep everyone happy. So I get relaxed and feel that Christmas spirit when they're all in bed and can just flop on the sofa with Curly and watch something and just chill out and just switch off.
So you had your family. You had your family around this year, didn't you?
We had everyone over, which it was lovely to have everyone together again after 4 years. Because my dad's been very ill. My mum and dad live up north, 150 miles. So chance to get everyone together is few and far between. So they made it down for a few hours. It was great to see everyone, but it was really busy. And just like, no, I'm just kind of just like chill out now.
That's the thing is, though, it doesn't feel like we've, like, growing up, we always had, like, I don't remember there being a Christmas in my household until pretty much after my dad died, where there wasn't a million people in the house. So there was always cousins, and my uncle would turn up with all his army mates, and you had like loads of people. The house, we'd have a massive Christmas dinner at my house. My mum would cook for about 1 million people, and then we go to my granny's the next day on Boxing Day and repeat. There would be the same amount of people and stuff. And
Matt, put yourself in your mum's shoes of having to cook for 1 million people. This is why.
This is it. She, like, I don't get me wrong. My mum stresses at the smallest of things, so I fully sympathise, because it's literally a case of the men just going to kind of sit there and make half-arsed attempts at helping, get shooed off by my mother and my sister, and then they panic about things, they forget things, and then they think they've ruined Christmas, and then they're all like, panicking because they've not done what they're meant to do, and nobody really cares, but they're in their heads, it's the worst thing ever. But and my mum likes to stress about things, but then when all the stress is gone, I think she realizes that she kind of likes having the people, despite the stress, she kind of likes having everybody around and stuff. So it's like it's a bit of a double-edged sword. It's like she said to me, also, it's so every house is really quiet now because everybody's gone and stuff, and it's like, I think they kind of like they kind of like that, as much as it's stressful at the time. I think they enjoy all the company and all the people, and there's lots of stuff going on. And as a kid growing up with that, it was just like something that we had. There was always people around and stuff. And then, only getting slightly older, it being, just us, and it was just sort of kind of sad.
I've realised we've been chatting for 10 minutes now, and we've not even introduced you. So, please, Madam Misfit, could you please...
We have introduced her.
We have.
No, what do you do? Who are you?
You haven't done that thing. For people who have been living under a rock, and don't know who Madam Misfit is, who are you? What do you do? What's your thing?
Who am I? Madam Misfit, otherwise Sarah. I am a... Well, what do I put? Do you want me to read out my new ChatGPT bio?
Yes, I do. I want to see what ChatGPT has to say about you.
I'm in the 21st century now, boys. Here we go. Let's have a look. Since 2019, Madam Misfit has dominated stages big and small with her unique blend of hip-hop and swing, showcased in 2 successful albums. A ball of energy wrapped in a spectrum of colours, she invites audiences into a world where mayhem and mischief reign supreme. With witty rhyme, she orchestrates a kaleidoscope of comedy, leaving an indelible mark as a true maestro of mischief.
Wow, very good. Yeah. Now, did you have to edit that at all? Because I find with ChatGPT, when I'm doing stuff for a D&D campaign and things, it can be a bit lame sometimes, and you have to do some heavy editing. Did you have to heavily edit that?
It was quite a few. I picked out phrases I really liked. I liked Maestro of Mischief. I really liked that. And I wanted to bring, this year I'm all about colour. I'm bringing some colour into my life.
I like the
Dungarees. So the whole, I broke it even before I freaking started. I'm looking cool.
It's very 1980s. It's very
very
sort of, what's it called? Salt and pepper.
Okay, I'll go with that. Let's go with that. But yeah, it was a few. I kind of like, it's hard writing about yourself, a biography anyway. So I was like, I'll give this a go. And then I think after I picked out a few phrasing, like, no, write it better, write it shorter, write it funnier, write it. And then I've got like different versions. Write it for like a pitch for a festival. I'm like, so yeah, I can see the help in it. So it was having somebody else sell me.
Yeah, it has its uses. I think it's like people who use it solely just to create their own thing. I don't see how they do it, and I can see why they get caught because, yeah, it doesn't write things. It writes things well in a sort of weird way,
acceptably, acceptably, but not with passion.
Yeah, you can definitely tell. But it's good. Like I find it very useful for you've done. You pick out ideas. Oh, I quite like the way it's phrased. That I like that idea. I like what it's done there, and then you can create your own thing from it. So it is very good for just creating. Basically spitballing ideas and then creating something that you start with. Yeah.
I don't ever want, I work with a lot of creatives, whether it be graphically or musically. I never want it to replace anything because I love being able to employ those very amazing, talented people that I rely on massively. So yeah, I think there's always a fear of that, pushing those types out. So
you should you should try and get it to write some lyrics for you and just read them verbatim. Don't unedit it, just verbatim as it is. And just
I am writing I love my musical genre. Like, not only do I do Chaphop, which is comedical posh kind of rapping, but I'm trying to delve a bit more into kind of music hall, cabaret. I want to do a fringe show eventually. So actually, I love the idea of writing and just reading it, like you said, really straight faced and just being as fucking stupid as possible, like upon a grand piano sort of thing in a frock. Like, ChatGPT wrote this. There is a guy, actually, a rap artist, that got them to write a rap, and it was awful. Like, it has no emotional kind of
it's like I've tried, and even with prompts and things like that, you can tell it's a computer. You can tell, like, again, it's there. I don't think I don't think we have to worry about it sort of replacing creatives anytime soon. Even the artistic side of things, there's glaring issues with it and stuff that can be pointed out and stuff. You can see things that are just odd. It doesn't grasp, but yeah, it's good for ideas. I don't think it's going to replace anybody anytime soon. Famous last words, 2025 Geek Pride.
Well, I was at a ChatGPT summit October last year, and I mean there's some great uses for it, but there's almost a myopic approach to it. Like, they're not accepting, like, people going, no, I don't think that's quite good. Nope, it'll be fine. It's going to replace artists. It's going to completely create new things. And we're going, no. I mean, I was part of this panel on the stage talking about the ChatGPT and chatbots' role in media. I said, what do you think it was going to replace journalism? Going, no. News is about what's new. Chatbots can only write about what they have in their language model, which has already always been written. They can't write what's new because they're only based on what's already exists. They can't kind of come up with ideas, and that is why humans will That's why you need humans, basically, because you need the people to kind of go.
It's good at it's good at certain things, like it's good at analysis, and it can pick up certain things that maybe the human brain can't get its head around. When it comes to sort of human things where you're trying to give passion and reality to things and sort of creativity effectively, it can't, because it's playing upon stuff that's already come before it. It doesn't really have any originality and stuff. It's just good at sort of, I think, being a muse and helping you create things.
It mimics rather than creates.
For techie side of things, like my work are starting to use it, and it is very useful in certain aspects, especially in monotonous tasks where there's a lot of data entry and you need to sift through things and find certain things. It's great with that because it's taken out all the monotony out of it. But when it comes to the arts, I don't think you're going to see anything replacing anybody anytime soon, if at all. To be fair, just doesn't. I don't think you could ever get that. That would be you know, you'd have to
It's a
sort of,
ser- it'd
you'd
be
have to have
disservice.
something that would beat the Turing test, be able to sort of, you know, do that, you know, to be, you know, persuade somebody that it's human. Then
Mhm.
Yeah.
Am I getting involved in a nerdy debate?
you are,
Is this
and
I
here was
think
you
so,
saying,
yeah.
here was you saying,
And
you're not going to talk this before the podcast because you're not a nerd and you can't talk to things. And you started this. You were talking about ChatGPT. You created this whole conversation.
I did it, I know. Everyone's gonna like whenever I put that in a type out or something. I know who wrote this. It wasn't you. It's based off me and things I put into it. So, yeah.
So,
Somebody wants to write my bio. Go for it then.
okay, challenge accepted.
Thank you.
Okay, so
Okay, and-
Lanzarote, you were off at Lanzarote. You came back. Your kids were mortified because their parents weren't there. Joking, but they they don't care because they got presents. What's been going on then? What have you? No, actually, what did you have up to? I'll speak in English this time around. What did you do? What have you been up to since we last saw you?
Jesus, it's a whole year. Literally, it's like a year to the day-ish. Was that your first last year, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What a way to start the
Holy shit.
years. This is
Wow,
nice.
wow, there you go.
I know.
It's
So
going to have to be a
wasn't,
tradition now, isn't it? 2020.
Implement.
Yeah, it's a tradition every year.
Start the year with Madam Misfit. I like that.
Well, I was just going to recap. So quickly, one of the big reasons why your Christmas mat sounds absolutely beautiful. No wonder you are very passionate about Christmas. My family all literally want to kill each other, so that's why my Christmas is very different. It was literally me in a front room with my parents and a box of like AA batteries, and that was Christmas for me. And then the royal family were usually on telly. Not the actual royal family, but the one with that front room kind of bass drama.
Yeah.
It was really bad. That's all that was on telly. And Frank Dibner, that was about it. That was my Christmas. But yeah, I in one of my other guises, I sing a lot of Christmas. So from November literally to Christmas Eve, I am a Christmas whore. I am singing everything.
You hypocrites! You hypocrites! I hate Christmas. I'm going to Lanzarote.
I will milk that.
Holy, la, 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 la.
Yeah, the full 12 days of Christmas are up here until Boxing Day, and it's gone. So so I'm at most Christmas markets and most big stately homes singing right up until Christmas. But then so working back, I mean, I'm trying to think what stands out. I mean, kickstarts the year, of course, Sci-Fi Weekender.
Yes.
And it is the start of my year. It kind of So, I mean, it's great because I'm there this year as well for the big anniversary.
15th anniversary of Sci-Fi Weekender.
15-ish, I believe. Isn't it?
Ish. It was 15 full ones. There's also been like the Sci-Fi Weekend in the cities, the satellite events they did for a couple of times in Sheffield. And yeah, it's kind of 15-ish, give or take.
Where was it originally before it was down in Norwich? Sorry, it's not in Norwich. It's in Great Yarmouth.
Great Yarmouth. Before that, it was in Llywelyn in North Wales, and then before that,
was it in Leeds ever or Sheffield?
It was in Sheffield for the Sci-Fi Weekend in the city. There was these sort of satellite events,
Yeah, I remember.
Smaller kind of ones which kind of experimented with and decided not to bother with. But it started off originally as SFX Weekender.
Oh, right, okay.
And basically, after a couple of events, SFX said, "No, not for us." But the organisers, she went, we think we can't let this idea. Let's keep going with it. So they turned the X into a W, and there you go.
Okay.
And that was in a Soviet Gulag era holiday park, and it really was as bad as it sounds. Like literally, people had lit the gas stove just to keep warm. It was like one time, like during a snowstorm, it was that bad, and people were actually leaving because they were going to get snowed in.
Okay.
So they were memorable for all the wrong reasons, but it's got a lot better and to what it is today.
I've still not been in 15 years. I got free tickets to it once and didn't go for unknown reason. I can't even remember what it was. It was this would be like years. This would be 2000. 2011, 2012. I can't remember what we. I think we may have got them for giveaways or something, and I didn't. I couldn't
give them away.
Well, no, I gave them away, but I couldn't
Right.
because I got a ticket as well. But it was just like I don't remember why I didn't go. So I've still not been. Bearing in mind that the majority of our guests on here are sci-fi weekender alums, you know, and everybody's talking about it, and I'm like, I've still never been.
That should be a resolution.
Yeah, well, the problem I've got is I'm getting married this year, and
Get married at Sci-Fi Weekender.
and get yeah. Well, I don't know. To be fair, my fiance is really she's into her anime and stuff like that. And she does like her nerdy stuff. So, but yeah, it's there's a lot of stress going on with all kinds of craziness. And so I don't see myself doing a lot this year, especially when it costs me money. And driving to Great Yarmouth is probably not gonna happen. Though I could try and persuade her. When is it this year? May? March?
March.
16th.
It's literally the day after my wedding anniversary.
Aww.
So yes, interesting time packing.
I was going to say, so literally, Sci-Fi Weekend kickstarts my year in March, but now I'm in this weird kind of like admin-y bit, which I'm trying to make the most of. So I did my first tax return last week.
Oh no.
Which was like, oh my god, I hated it. That's the first, like, somebody sent me a little meme and there was like, why work 40 hours for someone else when you can work 80 for yourself? Literally. And it is. I do not stop because I love it so much. But then they'd jump on you by we know you're enjoying yourselves that much, but here's a shitload of admin just to annoy those creatives that hate doing paperwork. So
you don't have your own accountant then?
No. So I joked the other day, someone messaged me like, how do I go about booking you? Do I need to speak to someone? I was like, yeah, that'll be your manager. And then I just left it with my manager. I left it a couple of seconds, like, who is obviously just me. There is nobody else. Like, I keep meaning about taking someone on. Like, I've got friends in bands who've got fans who run their social media pages and that. And I think I'm just a bit of a control freak. So I don't think I could pass it on without I think that's it.
I think it's one you're not having to share out that whatever money you make, and two, unfortunately, lots of other people, and we as a Geek Pride, we had at one point in time 40 people helping out with the site, and as much as that was awesome and it was great having that many people doing things, shit went wrong all the time because people were just doing their own thing, and it felt like I was doing my normal job, my day-to-day job, and then coming home and having to do a second job trying to keep everybody in line and doing things, and there was always stuff going wrong, and it was just like, oh, I need to stop this. So it pretty much being me, Pete, and a couple of others sort of who drift in and out feels a bit better now, because it's just sort of like, you can trust Pete, he can trust me, and we do our own thing, and it's just sort of less stressful.
I think also creators tend to have kind of I think our control freaks. I mean, we have like our own kind of brand image that we want to project, and we know how we want to project it. So kind of sharing that with someone else again, that bit of, are you gonna do it right? And you almost spend almost just as much time overseeing what they're doing as you would be. Kind of. So I can imagine it's kind of. And I was at this talk many years ago. I was talking about the business of writing, and being writer is great. You can create, you can do what you want, but it is a business, and you have to run it as a business.
Yeah, I think there's things like I've learned now, like with these mad flourishes of ideas I get, kind of the hyper active side of me is that I now write them down, leave them, come back to them, and then I look through my lyric back and I'm like, thank Christ I did not write a song. you know, or that line or that, you know, I kind of have to start sitting on things and padding. And that's basically what I'm done now. So I finished my tax return last week, which is like the #1 priority. At the moment, I'm responding madly to anyone that's emailed me over the last few weeks and just kind of planning out the year. And then comes the fun bit of writing songs. So that literally takes me up to Sci-Fi Weekender. So that Sci-Fi Weekender, I can launch all my brand new songs as sort of a test audience. That's kind of
okay, nice.
I like that idea. So, and I've got big plans for Sci-Fi this year, because there is a song that I believe, Pete, you were involved in, weren't you? That we recorded.
Why, Pete?
Yeah.
That was quiet.
Yeah, so it's fast forwarding a little bit, but it brings it sort of in line. So I wrote a song to kind of adhere to all my lovely nerdy geeky fans, called Power Up, and it's like a little retro gaming song. It samples in all of a bit of Street Fighter, Sonic the Hedgehog, Mortal Kombat, and Super Mario. it's all in there, but the great bit. So when I created a nerd night, so essentially a Madam Misfit show twinned with a Jim Credible Impossible quiz night. I got the audience we recorded them doing the chants, the bit of the chorus bit. So you are encapsulated in that track. And at Sci-Fi Weekender, and this is official announcement to everyone attending this year, the music video for that will be coming out as well, hopefully played behind me.
Oh, no way.
Of which I am being 8-bit drafted into a video game.
Oh, amazing.
And there's going to be a little version of me changing colours of dungarees and hats and running through a game and stuff. So
wow, that's really good.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Literally, the lady who's making it for me, oh my God, I cannot wait. It's going to be epic. I think I'm just going to have to stop singing it and just turn around and watch. It's gonna be mental. So I can't wait. I get to disappear into a little pipe, and then I kind of like,
oh, wow.
and then everyone gets and I get to be like a combat player in like Street Fighter mode, and yeah, very excited for that. So that's sort of my Sci-Fi Weekender kind of a thing. But then the next thing that sort of happened around that time was my Carnival of Chaos shows, my big circus shows. That was my big thing of 2023. That was absolutely
they really took off as well, didn't they?
It was crazy. Yeah, I mean, like, again, another one of my dopamine fueled like little dreams. I was like, I'm going to run a circus, and literally overnight had this idea that yes, we were going to play a circus. And from there, and before the end of the year, we'd done 4 or 5 shows. 2 of them sold out. Brighton Fringe, we did York, Reading. Our biggest one being Lincoln. We had a big show in Lincoln, 150 plus people. Wow. It was just absolutely mental. So that was an amazing thing. And they've still got this year, there'll be Carnival of Chaos performing at Basingstoke, which is a steampunk Cobbles and Cogs, the evening of the 2nd. That'll be along with Professor Elemental as well. And I've got my circus show there as well. But that was a huge thing to have become. But part of my brain is like, yeah, I've done that, I'm bored of it. I'm not bored of it. It's I'm really bad for
ADHD much.
Done that exactly. Yeah, I'm kind of like, no, I'm not bored of it. I will keep it alive. And yeah, there's still places I can take it. I really want to get to like festivals and things like that, doing the circus. But yeah, so that was a huge part of my year. And then my BAPS also was a thing. Have you heard about my BAPS, Matt?
No. Okay, because you bear in mind, back home in Northern Ireland, BAPS are what people call boobs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
Okay.
So, but mine are very different. The BAPS is the British Aeronautical Piloting School.
Oh, right.
So
okay.
I took on the role of Amelia Earhart and created a fun, family-friendly piloting school, of which about a couple of feet away from me, I have I don't know how it's been made. It's kind of, somebody has made me a plane that I can wear. It's about the size of a Fiat 500. This is what happens when I decide at 2 in the morning, I'm going to contact someone to build me a plane.
Like, I laugh, but I yeah, okay. You are ADHD, aren't you?
I am. Yeah. I'm waiting for the result. I've been referred, just waiting for but like I'm literally staring at this thing now, and it is amazing. Like in the cosplay community, when they go to town, like I mean, let me just like fill for 10 seconds. I'm just going to grab the front of it. Like, it's crazy.
Now, Matt, you've been introduced to Madam Misfit's Paps, and it is as gloriously insane as it
Yeah,
sounds.
well, it's like, get your paps out. That's what they say in Northern Ireland,
Yeah.
but obviously not the same sort of paps.
Right, okay. So this is the front.
Wow, that's insane. That's insane.
Just the propeller.
Yeah, if anybody's
just
listening,
because-
you have literally the front of an engine from a plane.
Yeah.
A World War II plane.
It's a
propeller.
biplane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
it's all
that's just
made out
part-
of Evo foam. It all bolts together. It's absolutely amazing.
Did you make?
Problem
Wait, sorry,
is-
did you make that, or did somebody make that for
I
you?
made nothing.
Okay,
I made
right.
nothing.
That's like, my God, the talent continues.
Oh my God, no. Yeah, the problem is when I ask people to make it, I don't mention budget, or I just make it, just keep me in the loop. And this person didn't keep me in the loop. So now, literally for the cost of a car, I now have like a tiny plane. So I now say to my husband, like, whenever I have one of these mad ideas, just mention the plane. And then I like, and the problem is, whenever I do my BAP show, it's literally take the plane in the car and nothing else. And no one, like family can't come. I can't take any PA. It's like either or. So yeah, I mean, it looks amazing. I mean, it's something that's wacky races. Like, it's absolutely amazing. I will go to like a walkabout, a festival in it, and it's got a little dungaree, like little straps, and kind of go around with my flying helmet on. It's mental, but
It must weigh a ton.
no, it's really light. It's all foam, yeah, and it's the details are
You can
ridiculous.
sing Reveille on it.
Inside the cockpit, there's little photos of like my family and stuff, like you would, and yeah,
Wow.
and there's like 2 cups of tea on the side, like bombing raids. You know, you have your bomb drops. It's just teacups.
That's really
So-
good. Like, I have to,
I
you
know.
have to respect sort of people who can create that well. Like, I went through my sort of impulsive ADHD fueled, I'm gonna do cosplay a while back, and created some stormtrooper armor, or sort of Imperial, well, it's Imperial Guard in the Star Wars universe, not in the Warhammer universe, for Sci-Fi, not Sci-Fi Weekender, for UK Games Expo, which
Games
Pete was-
Expo.
Yeah, I actually won a prize when I was down there. I didn't even enter the cosplay competition. They just sort of kind of nabbed me and went, "You're meant to be over here," and I was like, "What?" And they pulled me over into the cosplay competition, and I still got got it somewhere around there. But yeah, I won a prize. But yeah, that was literally me kind of going, I'm gonna do cosplay, and I'm gonna learn how to use this. I'm gonna cut EVA foam, and I'm gonna do this, and then I've never done it since. I think I built it once. I built it once, bought all the stuff, bought everything that you would ever need to create cosplay, and actually no, I lie. I did it once more, and then I haven't. I've got a big pile of stuff in a box upstairs that'll probably never get used again, because that notion of creating things is not there anymore. But you gotta respect them, because it takes a lot of work, and some of them there's absolutely insane. Some of them are just so, like, there's one called Kamui Cosplay. She's Austrian, I believe, and she is absolutely fantastic. Some, like, she puts lights in it. She does all kinds of crazy stuff. She does, and the one thing, she shows how she makes it bit by bit, and it's just mad. And it kind of feels like it's easy and you could do it, and that's why I wanted to do the thing, because it's like, I could do this, but it's not easy. It's so hard, and if you do it really well, like, obviously the person who's done it for yourself,
and it takes days and
Yeah,
weeks
yeah.
and months to create.
And, like,
It's
I
the
cut-
storage though.
Yeah.
The storage, the guys that do the Warhammer like things, like, absolutely ridiculous.
oh yeah, there's
like,
the big power armor things, like,
Yeah.
like Dave, and I just, yeah, where they put all those uniforms and stuff. I know sort of
I
power armor,
have
no
enough
idea.
trouble storing Zaphod Beeblebrox's head and put it on.
I
mean,
threw
Kenny
mine
keeps saying to me,
out. I threw mine out.
Yeah, the kid keeps saying to me, Pete, will you put away Zaphod's head? He keeps staring at me.
when you're having some times, you should just put it on the side of the bed, sort of staring.
We one time we were having some, as you put it, fun times, and I was going out dressed up with Zaphod, and I went to kiss Katie goodbye, and jumping to kiss Safefoot Madam Misfit. It's like it's just in the moment, like, hang on.
If you ever
Oh,
do
dear.
a thing where you're kind of feeling a bit kinky, Pete, you could do let's do dress up, and then you could rub on your second head and be all like, let's go. It's like a threesome without being a threesome.
Yes. I say I've got 3 foam heads just because I like buying wigs and never wearing them. Like I've got loads of wigs and then never wear them. Just again, massive impulse buy. Like,
yeah. Oh man, don't talk to me about impulse buys. This whole room I'm in's an impulse buy. But yeah, I just like I threw out my costume. I also get to the point where I feel good about it at the time, and I'm not sure if it's the same with yourself, but I feel good about it at the time. I'm like, this is really good. I'm doing, and I'm quite a creative guy. I'm good, but I'm really down on everything I do because
detail.
I like to this isn't as good as it could be, or I feel like I could do better, and it got turfed. I was moving house and I went right. I don't like it anyway. All that time I spent got chucked in a skip, and like my brother kept his. He did what did he do?
Nightwing.
He did Nightwing. This was just for Halloween. We did it for a Halloween thing, and then sort of ended up in UK Games Expo. But he did his. He keeps his in the background and then it looks really good. And mine, I just threw it in the bin because I was just like, I don't like it anymore, and I feel bad about it because some of it wasn't bad, but at the time I was just like, shit compared to the other people.
But you've got loads of costumes as well, haven't you, Madam Misfit?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Well, this is it. So Madam Misfit, she was started 2019, just before the pandemic, and I looked up to like Professor Elemental, and when it came to like styling and creating a character, I was kind of right. I need a jacket. I'm not a girly girl. I can't do in steampunk. It's all bustles and corsets. I was like, I've not got the time for that. I'll have a fancy jacket and a silly hat, and that'll be my look. And I've kind of done that for a long time, and plus because I'm not a comic nerd, I hate reading. Reading's too boring for me. It's too static of a thing. So I didn't want to create a background story though. I was a character from a dimension that came across in a spaceship and all of that stuff. So actually people have kind of connected with me more through being a mum, just being a normal person, and some of the character, the jacket and the hat has gone, and more of actually realism. And what I realise now is Madam Misfit is actually my ADHD, my sort of parallel other.
That's good.
Coming through
that's a good
massively. Yeah. Well, it's been this year has been massively about self-discovery, and a bit on my background for those of you who don't know. So I was in the Royal Air Force. I joined at 18, and I left 2 years ago. And now and again, this kind of outlandish person would rear their head and be a bit banterish and stuff, and I'd get kind of, calm down, get back in your box. And that was me. That was like the real like Madam Misfit, and it is very tiring being like that all the time. But that's exactly what she is. And like on stage, like absolutely coming alive is, dopamine at its max, and and it's really, I'm trying now that I'm understanding, and I'm doing I hate reading, but I like kind of watch a lot of the self-help videos on ADHD and stuff, and kind of know what works best for myself, or how to get myself in those hyper focus kind of moments and stuff. So, and now that I know, for me as a brand and a person, people are more interested in me, and the fact that I just have red hair that was how I became a misfit, in all of it. And kind of I've started adding more color into my life, because actually I'm quite a colorful person, and the steampunk world is absolutely beautiful, but I've applied myself to so much more, from nerd conventions to fantasy festivals. And this year I will be going to America as well. I can't say much more on that yet.
Boo.
So but if you're on my Patreon, you'll find out soon. So yeah, it's been crazy.
So I've got 2 questions for you. They're both related to the ADHD side of things, but one, how did you find with the ADHD? Obviously at the time you didn't know, but was that not a struggle for you in a regimented situation? Because you've got a brain that's basically fighting against everything and forgetting stuff, and generally being a bit useless sometimes, in a situation where they need you to be as sharp as a tack. Did you struggle with that?
Mm. I think it's got, I don't know how you see it as a superpower, worse or better since becoming self-employed, because I've managed to use it, to my advantage in a way. Whereas back then it was sort of, I obviously like kept it hidden in a way. It
Mask.
would come out, I just obviously masked it very well. My days were very regimented, so I was very good at I was a treasurer, so I was very into my digits and my numbers and my
Yeah.
figures and balancing, very focused on that. I was a musician as well in the military, so I got to have that creative flair, and I absolutely loved like jazz, improvise, all of that sort of stuff. So that kind of massively won me over. But there used to be these times, and I could never explain it. And I was like, I just think I couldn't learn the same way as other people, and I would have to relearn things. It would take me quite a while, but once I'd learnt it in my way, bam, I was like massively like.
Do
It
you
was
do you learn visually? I find that I learn while people physically see things than reading it.
I don't like reading. I think I literally have to decompartment everything and work out in my head my own process of learning. I can't even explain how I
Yeah,
learn
no,
things.
I understand.
Like with lyrics, I have to type them out in Arial font, size 14, on a piece of paper, and I can visually see them. If I physically typed them out, that's how I learn my lyrics. And I remember when I was in the Air Force, there used to be just times where I felt like my head was filled with candy floss and filled with flies, and it would just get to the point like, I was once told I deal with stress very well, or a little bit of stress is good for people, and I took that on board, throw me loads of crap. But now I know, and I can feel the candy floss coming, that like and then I have to reset, which is either me sleeping or like going for a walk. And I'm these are little learning controls that I've that help with me. And
they say that stress. Well, I find I am a lot more. It's not a good thing, but if a stressful situation hits in, my brain just switches. Like I'll go from basically being completely, like you said, candy floss, blah blah blah, all kinds of voices in my head, doing all kinds of things, not really paying attention, flicking on TikTok, not doing anything productive, and then such a stressful situation kicks in, and I just sort of click in and do the thing. I do what I need, and as much as it's horrible, and you've got all this sort of self doubt and all stuff, but you for some reason your hyper focus just kicks in and it gets you through what you need to do. So it is that in that part it is a good thing, but it kind of needs certain situations like that to engage it.
I've been using a lot of. Do you double at all? Do you get someone to sit with you?
Oh, right. See, I've heard about that. I'm currently on my own. So it's hard for me to be honest. In work, it's a bad thing because I go through stages of being and you can tell when I'm hyper focused. If I do something like I do a lot of sort of tech stuff, and I build spreadsheets and stuff for work, and I help with things like that. If I'm into it, I will be there. Like I've been there 3 o'clock in the morning, and I've emailed out something because I'm just like so into it, like enjoying it, into it, that I was doing it, and it was work, and I'm like, I'm doing this thing and I need to get it done, and I would email it out. But it's like I'd do these sort of like I go through sort of stages. I need somebody to regiment me, and I need sort of like, we have a project manager, and I'm super forgetful, and then she's literally there to kind of go, have you done this thing? Have you done this thing? Have you done this thing? And I'm like, okay, yeah, I haven't done that thing. And it's kind of good to have somebody. It's like you said, like doubling. It's somebody who's there to basically sit with you and not hold your hand, but make sure you're doing the thing. And as much as initially I begrudged people doing that, but you realize that you need it. You need somebody basically
massively
doing that.
I will find any opportunity to get out of a mundane admin task to write music, or to sit and scroll. I had a friend who it was doing my thingy-bobby last week, tax return, because like naturally I'd like get to the end of a question, I was like, right, I need a break now, I'm going to reward myself with a little piece of toast. And she's like, no, you sit down, you finish the whole thing.
I do that.
Jesus, little treat now, and then off I go and scrolling.
It's very telling how many creatives leave doing their tax returns until this month, if not later.
Yeah.
But
No,
the thing is,
I'm awful at it.
I suppose it gets to that point where the stress kicks in. The problem you get sometimes is if you leave, and I'm the same. I'm really bad. I leave everything to like the last minute, and then I just parse out. Like prime example, my dissertation in university, we had a year to do it. We didn't have it. We had 3 hours a week in university to give us time to do our dissertations. I did mine in 3 days. Literally just did it in 3 days, and it wasn't a good dissertation, but I did it, and it was just like, part of me is like sometimes it doesn't work as much as that sort of stressful situation zones you in. Sometimes you don't get as much, and you do, I think, over time need to get some way to regiment yourself. Like
Yeah.
my weekend this weekend, I was meant to be sort of like, I've come back from Northern Ireland, I've got a suitcase that's still there, I've got all this other stuff. And so I try and not overwhelm myself and kind of go, right, you're going to clean this room and that's it. You're going to be your task today. And then you instead of kind of going, but I need to do this, but I need to do this, and I need to do this. And I'm not sure if you've ever seen that episode of Malcolm in the Middle where Hal's going in and he
The light bulb.
your light bulb, and then he goes, and then he's like, oh, I need to do this. Oh, this is creaking. I need to do this, and he carries on. And that is literally what ADHD is, because you're literally moving one way. And I will do that all the time, and I find myself doing it. But you have to stop yourself and go, this is your target today, Matt. It doesn't matter what else you do, as long as you do this thing, and that's for like my mission. So I was like, I'm going to clean the kitchen, but I'll find myself just kind of wandering off, going, I've done that thing today, so I'm going to sit down and scroll on my phone for a bit, and then 2 hours later, I'm like, shit, I haven't done the thing. So you go back again.
That's it. But then what you mentioned before is deadline brain. I work best. I wait for deadline brain to kick in. I've written songs the night before a show. Like literally, because that excites you. And so some of my best work, so Power Up was written the night before a show.
Oh, wow.
And Happy to Hold as well was written the night before a show. It's so bad because they were two cracking songs. I kind of rely on it now. It's like, oh crap, maybe I can leave it later. Maybe I can leave it till the actual day of, like, no. But then, Matt, as you were saying, you have all these things, but then there's the problem that you have too much and you don't know where to start. So then you just don't start.
And then you procrastinate. Yeah, I hate it. It's so annoying, and it's like people don't. It's really hard to explain, but you've got so much to do that you do nothing. And like I find myself going, and this is a game of, because I'm massive. I've got a million hobbies, and I'm trying to focus on one or two just so I have this thing. But my friends are all, let's do this, let's do this, let's do this. And it gets to a point where I stress out so much about all of them and about everything that I do nothing. And I'm like, my friends want to do this. No, I can't, because my brain's just like completely, but if I do that, then I'm not doing that other thing. And if I'm not doing that other thing, I'm not doing that thing. And then I'm like, I just don't want to do any of them because I just can't get my brain around it. And it's so frustrating. So frustrating.
The thing that has started to affect me the most and kind of get a little bit embarrassing is my memory for names.
Oh, mine's horrible. Yeah, it's horrible.
Really bad. And I've actually embarrassed myself quite bad. Like a really serious fan came up and talked to me, and in my head I was like, yes, you know her name. You know her name is Karen. And it came out of my mouth, and she came up to me later and just let you know my name isn't Karen. I was so sure. So hilariously, I'm now writing a song called I'm Just Not That Good with Names. And it's like my personal apology. And it's basically, you're all just Dave to me now. It's just literally.
Are you good with faces though? Because I bet you're good with faces. I bet you recognize people really well. I bet you could, I know that person really well, but it's just like, I'm the same, like horrible with I bump into people walking my dog all the time, and I've seen them a million times, and I couldn't tell you their names, despite the fact they've probably told it to me 3 or 4 times. And it's not because I'm being ignorant, and it's not because it's just it's hard to
can you remember the dog's name but not the person's name? Because I'm exactly like that. I know it's that's Fizz. Oh, that's Sizzle.
No, it's like,
oh, there's a feeder over there.
I think it's a thing called they call it object permanence. So it's basically if something, and it can happen with your friends and stuff like that, if they're not in your life on a constant sort of situation, then it's not like you forget about it. You just sort of, it just zones out. Your brain just doesn't. Well, it is forgetting about it, and it's like that's why you get like, you can see the mess room and stuff, but but you two can't, but everybody else can. You can see the mess in this room, but it's like you have your sort of like piles of stuff, but you know exactly where it's there because you've got that sort of because you put it there. Whereas if other things aren't around you, that object permanence isn't there, and so they forget them. So if you haven't seen somebody for a while, granted, if they've been a friend and you know them for a long time, that fine stays with you. But if it's somebody you only see now and again, and they're not in your life on a regular basis, you will forget stuff about them, and you forget about things. I find it hard in the podcast sometimes and stuff. There's certain people I remember, like yourself. I remember you because obviously I remember certain things, but it's like some of the guests we've had on before, and again, I struggle to remember what we talked about in the last sort of podcast and stuff because I've only seen them once, and my brain doesn't retain that information.
And to be fair, Matt, we podcast a lot of people.
Yeah. But it's but it's I feel, but like I've got to a point when it comes to names where if I forgot, like I will just like there's a guy I was walking the dog with today, and I've seen him a couple of times, and he's told me his name, and I said like, "Man, I'm really sorry, but what was your name again?" And he's told me it's Andy, and I'm like, I'm gonna remember it. He's called Andy. That's his name. It's called Andy. But oh god, I don't even know now. My brain's kind of going, was it Andy, Matt? Was it Andy or was it Tony? And like Andy. But
it's when fans often want me to autograph something, and I'm kind of like, I've known them for a long time. So what I do now is like, and how are you spelling that?
Oh, right, yeah. I do the thing where if I forget somebody, I'm like, I need you to introduce somebody, and what I'll do is I'll go, "This is Pete," and then I stop and I don't introduce them, so the other person goes, "Oh, I'm such and such," so they do the introduction, and I'll go, "Yes, that's it." That's it. So if I go up to somebody and go, "This is Pete," and then not reintroduce you, I'm sorry, it's because I've forgotten your name. Or if you're perpetually Duder Man.
It's the rudeness, and this is why, like, I know I don't need a diagnosis. I was referred actually by the GPs because I thought it was something else. I thought I was like, just going crazy, and it wasn't until they pointed out, like, by the way, you might just want to be, so I know every time I talk to someone, I said, "Oh, suspected ADHD," but it's come to a point where I think I do actually need the diagnosis now, because the situations like this happens where I just come across as really rude. Like, I realize I don't focus when people talk. I blank out.
Oh yeah.
And then like to the point, like my husband, like I have to say, "I'm sorry, I wasn't listening at all." Or I will actually say, "I don't need to know this piece of information. This is just like really boring for me." Like, I have to be really blunt because I just know, like.
Do you find that you're sort of like staring at people and you can hear them talking, and you're like, and you're spending most of your time going, "I have to listen to this conversation," and you're arguing with yourself about, you should be focusing on this conversation, and then they've said their thing, and all you've been doing is arguing with yourself how you need to listen to the conversation, and you haven't listened to the conversation, and then you either have to go, and nod your head, or just go, "I'm really sorry, I didn't hear what you said," and then you sound like a fucking dickhead, and you're just like, oh.
Yeah, that's it's getting to a point now. It's affecting me.
Yeah,
so I think,
and I think the diagnosis, like I was the same as yourself. Are you going through Psychiatry UK, or what are you going through? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know. It's waiting for the doctors. Literally, they've sent the form off, and then I'm waiting for that. Somebody said it can do it via the online. I don't know. Yeah. I'm just waiting to be told. But
like, I went through Psychiatry UK, and I only did it because my friends were just like, "Dude, you're completely ADHD." For me, it was just like growing up. It was just being normal. I just thought it was normal, and I never sort of kind of thought about it. And then shit happened. And I was spending a lot of money, impulse buys and stuff were just like, I was getting myself into so much trouble, as people will see from this, a lot of this stuff. It's because I'm like, "Ooh, shiny thing. That makes me happy. I'm not sad. Dopamine hit. So I like, and then I'm sad afterwards because I've spent all that money and blah, blah, blah. But I was getting to a point where I was perpetually in bad relationships. I was spending money on girlfriends, and then sort of stuff around me and things. I had no impulse control. I zoned out a lot. I was just sort of struggling in general, and my whole brain was just kind of going, "This maybe isn't normal." And there were certain times where it came out a bit more, and it was affecting my, like, actually mental health. Like, I have this thing, my friend says I live day by day, where he says, like, in certain circumstances, you work better than most human beings, because you can sort of, because you're living in the day, all this other shit doesn't affect you. So you're like literally, you know, when my dad died and all this other stuff happened, like my brain just sort of compartmentalized, and I just sort of kind of went, well, this is today, and I'm just doing this thing, and I forgot about stuff, and like I forgot about my friends' kids christening and things, and I did all these things because all I was doing was just living in the moment. And then I realized, I was just like, I need to do something about this. Something's up. And I went to the GP and I said, look, it could be ADHD, and because it was on TikTok a lot, he wasn't interested. Like my GP at the time was just like, yeah, we get that a lot. There's a lot of stuff on social media about it and stuff. I said, I know, I appreciate that, but you have to understand, I can't hold down a good relationship. I have to always go for the really traumatic ones and stuff because it gives me those dopamine highs and things like that. I can't sort of, you know, I'm an impulse buy. I'm really bad with money, all this other crazy stuff. I'm just like, and it's affecting me and my emotional state now. It's getting to the point where I can just deal with stuff, but it's not. And I need help. And I said, look, man, I need help. I said, well, you know, the waiting list in the NHS is about 3 years. And I was just like, is there no other way? And he said, well, I could refer you to with Psychiatry UK. And I was like, well, would you please? And he went, okay. And he did. Now that took, because it's a charity, and I have to say, there's been it's a bit of a longer story, but I got within about, I think it was like 6 months, I think, I got my diagnosis, and I had a psychiatrist basically ask me a load of questions on a Zoom call. He asked me loads of questions, and he said, do you do this? How do you feel about this? What about this? Blah, 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 blah. And then afterwards he says, you know, you're 100% ADHD. You're potentially ASD as well. You've got a profile for ADHD, which is basically autism. And he says ASD and ADHD sort of going hand in hand. And I'm dyslexic as well. He said that ties in with it too. And he said the ASD thing is like you've got aversions to certain things, like tastes, like mushrooms. I don't know what it is, man. It just really, they freak me out. Can't sort of have that taste and stuff. And so having that diagnosis where somebody literally told me that all that stuff I'd been struggling with, even when I was sort of just accepting that as me back in the day, was a massive sort of like weight off my shoulders. I cried. Like, it was really weird. It makes me emotional thinking about it now, but I literally, like, I cried. I was just like, and my friend who had been diagnosed before me said, look, man, it's going to be quite emotional for you because you're going to have somebody telling you that there's something wrong with you, and that was the case the entire time. And so you're going to have this thought of, if I hadn't had that, or if had I known and I could have tried and dealt with it, then this wouldn't have happened, and then this wouldn't have happened, and then this wouldn't have happened, and then this wouldn't have happened. And it just, this whole sort of emotional state of, I'm happy because I know, but I'm sad because I've been told that had it been caught earlier, things may have been different. And that whole thing was a massive emotional roller coaster. It was really mad. And it's just, it's like I would 100% say, if you think you are, just to try, go and get that, because knowing is better than anything, because it releases you. And then from going from, this is normal, this is how I am, because you're not trying to prevent anything. Whereas if you know, you then can try, even if you're not on medication, and the medication thing's really hard. I'm trying to get it, and it's been nearly a year to trying to get medication for it.
Oh, really?
But, yes. Okay. So it took me they said, I went on it, I got to the point where I was at the top of the list. And then, and this is the irony of it, right? So bear in mind that ADHD is being forgetful and sort of zoning out and all this stuff. They make you sort of check an online portal. And because they sent me an email and a text every day saying, this is where you're in the list, this is what you're doing. And I was like, okay, cool. As long as they're coming in and reminding me, it's fine. And they said, when you're at the top of the list, we'll get in touch with you. And I was like, sweet, I get my medicine. And then I didn't hear from them for a while. I was like, okay, I'm just waiting. A couple of months later, still nothing. And then I just went and I checked the portal just because I was like, all right, I'll just check it anyway. And I had a letter basically telling me that I was being discharged because I hadn't replied to them. And I was just like, but I didn't get an email and I didn't get a text message, and it's not my fault. So I had this massive moan at them saying, look, bear in mind what ADHD is. It's slightly ironic that you're sort of saying I've been discharged because I didn't get back to you. I forgot. I can't be seen to check this thing every day when you've been taking 6 months to do stuff. and they couldn't do anything. So I had to wait another 6 months, get re-diagnosed. So I re-diagnosed, and now I have to wait. I'm on month 3, I think, of another 6 month wait to try and get back on the titration for the medication. And I'm like being quite sanguine about it. I'm just like, it's
Do you
a
think
charity.
do you think that now and that you have coping strategies can help you both?
I for myself, I am very mindful of how I act now and the way I am with things. It doesn't always help, like because I'm trying not to buy as many toys and things. I'm eating a lot more shit. I eat a lot of sweets and chocolate and stuff because it helps me sort of feel better. So I'm putting on lots of weight. And the other day I was like, I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna start.
You were nodding there with
I've written a whole song called Sugar Rush.
Oh man, yeah.
Before I even knew, and then when I was going through this kind of self-assessment thing, and I was like, just Googling sugar and dopamine. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, there's literally, I've got bags of Haribo in the boot of I have to lock it in the boot of my car. Like, my friend, so Adam, was like, brought me a tray of 15 Terry's chocolate oranges for Christmas.
Yeah.
I know, they're like, I've had to lock them in the boot of my car.
My sister bought me a big thing of chocolate. I fucking demolished that, man, and it's just like gone. But it's like, it is like, so I just sort of, because I know, but the thing is, sometimes your brain's like, it's like two sides conflicting against each other. You got the one side going, you need to do the sensible thing and you need to do this, but the other side, it's like having the devil and the fucking angel, and the other side's going, yeah, but it's so much easier and it makes you so much happier just to do this thing.
I went to the doctors because I thought I had a multiple personality disorder. I like, literally, the people, I'm so different. I'm mum, I'm very, boring, bland, vanilla, and then there's this other person. But it's not, it's not
exactly. That's it. It is like, people don't grasp it. It is you. It's an inner monologue that you're perpetually fighting with to do even small tasks. And it's like, I remember I was in a job and I wasn't like, I was either being late or I was, it wasn't a job I was suited to, and they were putting a lot of pressure on me, and that's what made me started kind of thinking. It's like, but I'm trying my best, and I remember sort of sitting with one of the ladies, and I said, look, I think I might be ADHD at the time, and she's like, and it's like, but you can understand, it's like, I could drop this thing on the ground, and then I would. The sort of devil side of me would go, just walk on, it's easier, just carry on. Where the other side's, you should really just pick that up, it's just down there, like, it's easy for you just to get down and pick it up. The other's like, yeah, but you have to pick it up, and then you gotta find a place to put it, and you gotta do this thing. Even small things, you're just arguing with yourself all the time, so every sort of part of your life is an argument, and it's draining. It's so draining, because every small thing you have to do. And the only time it's quiet is when you're hyper-focused, because you're like zoned in on one thing. And hyper-focus can be amazing, but it can also be...
Do you find performing allows you to is your hyper-focus?
I feel like I am flying above my own body and she just takes control. Like, I heard somebody, I follow a few ADHD kind of channels on Instagram, and they explained hyperfocus is this sort of like membrane slime from your head to that task, and if somebody should chop that, oh my god, do I turn into bitch mode? Like, if somebody like,
is it the girl with the blue hair? Is it the girl, her fella?
Yeah, rocks. Yeah, ADHD love. Yeah, love that. But,
the only sort of thing against, like, I watch them as well, and I find them quite amusing and stuff. I feel so bad for the boyfriend or the husband and stuff, because he feels like he's just like, having to put up with this shit, and it's just like, one thing I don't try to do is use it as a crutch. Like, I've got a diagnosis, I've got a psychiatrist sort of document telling me I am this thing. I could be ASD as well, but I never use it in work, even when I've done something wrong, because I feel sometimes there's, like, I appreciate you should be able to, if you've got, for all intents and purposes, a disability, you should be able to use that and say, look, I've got a disability, but I don't want to use it as a crutch, because I don't want I feel like it's too easy just to kind of go, oh, I've got ADHD, so I should be allowed away with.
Because you don't want to be beholden to it.
Yeah, I don't want to be beholden to it. I want to be able to be better and do it myself than to sort of kind of go on, I give up and just go, oh, I've got ADHD, so that's okay. And that's the one thing that I don't really, because I feel like there's a bit of a mixed message with them where it's like, it's okay to accept that from somebody because they're ADHD. Whereas when I pull my shit, I would like somebody, even though I've done it wrong, just to tell me that I've fucking, done wrong. And because as much as it is because of your ADHD, you do need somebody like that whole thing about somebody being there with you to do things. You need somebody to tell you that was wrong, that was stupid, that's not what you should be doing and stuff. And it's like, and I've had that situation where I've got friends and my family are quite good at it as well. That's fucking stupid, you shouldn't do that thing. And I don't like having this thing, especially in work, where I'm like, this is ADHD. And granted, if it gets to the point where I'm really frustrated and I'm like, look, you have to give me some leeway because I do have ADHD. But I won't rely on it. And I've never uttered the words "I have ADHD" in work. I'm 42 now, and I've been working most of my sort of adult life. I've never used it as an excuse to get out of anything. But if I was really, 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 really pushed to a point, I say, look, I did say to my boss, I have ADHD. Here's the document. You don't have to treat me any differently, but it's a thing. So just bear it in mind.
Sarah, do you feel like having done multiple performing acts?
Yeah.
How that to me like an almost extension of it. Does that be fair?
It is. That is massively playing to it. Like, I enjoy having these different personas, and my wardrobe even has different clothes, and it's like, I can't wear that because I'm not Sarah Myers today. I'm not Sarah Jane. Oh man, I tell you. Yeah. So I'm trying to kind of blend them all together. I mean, basically what separates my acts is the musical style. I'm still the same person. Like, so in my 1940s tribute persona that I do, obviously most of people of that era are this beautiful English rose who never say a bad word, whereas actually it's just me, just in a different frock and a different colour lipstick. And that's probably why I'm quite well known on that circuit, because I'm a bit more alive than some of the other artists. I'm literally pulling kids up and we're flying around like airplanes and stuff. And so I'm known for my kind of kookiness. And then I'd have another persona, Sarah Myers as well. But I think that was the reason I initially went to the doctors, because I'm like, I have all these people and I talk about them in the third person and this, that, and the other. And it's like the way I used to separate my days. I felt like I was in the game Sims,
right?
With tasks.
Yeah.
And like, I would literally be like, oh, you've just jumped in. I've had to slot that task in front of that because I can't put that chip pan fire out before I've cleaned the toilet. Literally, that's how it felt. I would literally and I talk about things like my in tray. That's my in tray, and then my out. And then it's on somebody else now. And I very visualize, how things have to run.
Do you struggle? And again, this is another ADHD. I'm sorry if I interrupt you and stuff, but that's another thing. ADHD people, they interrupt people all the time because you've got an idea and you're like, I need to say that thing right now or I'll forget it, and they'll forget it, and you sort of you spit it out instead of waiting like a gentleman until somebody's finished their conversation. But do you find it hard to look people in the eye?
I've heard somebody say, which eye do you look at? Then you start to think back, like, oh my god, do I look at the person straight in the eye?
I look at people's noses, like, because I get to the point where I know I struggle to look people, and I'm not sure if it's the autism side of things, but I struggle to look people unless I'm really, really super comfortable with them, like family and things. But if it's just a friend or somebody I've not known for a while, I look at them on the nose because it's like I need to feel like I'm giving them eye contact, but I can't look at them in the eye. It's really weird. And so I tend to look at them on the nose to sort of give me that view of them.
When I'm performing, I can't look at anyone in the eye because I will forget my lyrics.
Yeah, it's okay.
I go into this kind of daze, like I will literally be glossing over and just looking into this fog. And really what I'm memorizing is that Word document with Arial size 14, like in my head is what I'm pulling back. That was funny. But I did a show in Gloucester a few weeks back, and it's been the first time that I've looked at somebody and they are saying every word, every lyric of my own song back at me, and it was really strange. And that was the point. I was like, shit, what if he knows my words better than me? Like,
did that make you forget? Did you have that? Because I get that, where you have these conversations in your head when you're doing things, and then it puts you off. So did you see that person saying your words, and you're going in your head, well, maybe they know those words better than me, and then you're go, crap, I'm singing, oh, I forgot my words. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, no, I do forget my words now and again. It's, you know, and kind of a lot of people, I mean, in the kind of community I'm in, mainly the steampunk, that is completely, they think it's hilarious. And I think that it's a good to make fun of yourself sometimes, or, you know, it is fine. I mean, thankfully I work in not too serious sort of genres at the moment, but I am trying to move out into more kind of mainstream. So I need to kind of
Sara Myers, for example.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a crazy. I mean, all Sara Myers is basically is, so in the world of Madam Misfit, I get to work. Producers make my music. I'm not just like planes. I need people to make things for me, and then I just come in and sprinkle my dust on top and deliver it. And I have a lot of producers, but there were certain nook of producers that were just reluctant to work with me because comedy is seen as gimmicky, you know, and kind of short-lived, and, you know, which at first I took a bit insulting, but I'm like, but the part of me that is like a dog with a bone is like, right, no, I'm going to show them that at the end it's Sarah that you really want to work with. Madam Misfit is literally just a front. So if I just literally bolt a different name on and lose the comedy side, yeah, and then I released a wonderful track last it was November, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Called Take a Chance, which was absolutely amazing. I mean, the ride from that, the music video from it, and I'm kind of very much, if somebody tells me no, then I will come back twice as strong. I'm kind of very much that person. I'm very determined, very much so. Yeah. So that was me. I mean, I am still writing new stuff in that sort of genre as well. I find it a lot harder to write songs than rap. Songs, like, you know, they're more, that obviously the words are more meaningful. Rap is very quick and short, and the words are lost and gone in the moment. But you know, finishing a phrase on a really shit word that's left hanging, and so it takes me a longer time to write songs. And it's all about working with the right people as well. Once you get, because I worked with a record label for that, it's about the little black book, working with the right people and who knows who sort of thing. But I mean, people were really worried. I mean, I told my Patreon ages ago that I was doing this project, and everyone was, oh no, Madam Misfit's dying. And, you know, I was like, it will never, you know, I'm going to America this year to perform as Madam Misfit, not Sara Myers. You know, there is still very much, and like, as I mean, in the 40s world as well, I'm a tribute artist in the 40s world, but I can't sell merchandise in the world of the 40s. No one's going to wear my face on their vintage outfit, and but you know, so it's all very much, Madam Misfit has the most fun, you know. She
cigarette cards, cigarette cards.
Yeah, there we go.
Get some of those like fake. Well, I'm not sure if you can buy chocolate cigarettes or candy cigarettes anymore, and then you can get little cigarette cards from yourself, and there you go. That's very 40s. There you go.
But I couldn't busk on the streets as Madam Misfit, so that's when my 40s. I do a lot of busking as well. That's what I started doing last year to kind of fill in the gaps. But then if I want to go more mainstream music festivals, it wouldn't be Madam Misfit, it would be Sara Myers. So I can dip my toe in a bit of everything. It's very.
Do you find writing music as Sara Myers different to writing music as Madam Misfit?
Yeah, I mean, I never take myself too seriously, so it is hard to take that out a little bit. So instead of that comedy side, I kind of put along that fierce kind of girl power thing. Like, that's the attitude. I fire it into that instead. I think, and I like to be that sort of wild card, like in the genre, so electro swing, which is kind of vintage remixed. You know, there's a scattering of amazing ladies that do it, but I like to be that one that brings a little bit different, you know, hence my the music video that was released. We shot it in an old abandoned brickyard, and I took a sledgehammer, my friends were blowing fire, and it was amazing. But within minutes of the video going live, someone messaged me saying, how dare I smash up this old building, and I'm going to have you reported, and this, that, and the other. And I was like, and it really shut me down. I was really upset. And I explained that actually the bricks were placed on walls with coloured powder and all of this, that and the other. And you know, it's kind of, it was amazing to see my vision come to life. And I'm very, you know, passionate person, but when someone shoots you down like that, and I was ready to pop the champagne, and then literally like stole my thunder. Like,
yeah, that was...
like,
you always get it. Like,
it was that dopamine hit. It was that high. Somebody snipped it, and
oh man,
gone.
like you
so,
get, I get it. Like with when I get like maybe like you get viral videos from a dog and stuff, and like you go, oh, this is brilliant. I'm getting something, you know, something good, and then somebody will come in with some fucking inane sort of like bitch call it, saying you're a bad dog owner, or you've done this wrong and stuff, and you're just like that high. Just it doesn't matter about everybody else being nice.
But I think that's
just like
that's just part of like modern social media. You put something out there, you're really proud of it, and it looks great. It is genuinely amazing, and then some shithead, pardon the language, will come along and go, well, I think you'll find. I mean, I did an article a few years ago about vaccines at the end of 2020. So I got the anti-vaxxers coming after me. I was really proud of this article, looking at how you go from, you know, initial research to bulk manufacture. How do you get a vaccine out to billions of people? How do you do that? How do you kind of get and maintain all the other vaccines? And then the messages I got were just horrific, because there's just people out there that are just out to get their kicks out of just being absolute shitheads.
Trolling. I find YouTubers are the worst.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, it's just,
that's why I've I don't look at the comments on YouTube anymore.
They always say
I get
that.
Really scared.
Do you switch off the comments?
I don't, because part of me likes praise. I've got a praise kink. Don't kill.
Yeah, I know.
That's really more creative. We need that kind of, feedback.
Affirmation. You need that affirmation. And with the ADHD thing, you need that dopamine hit as much as you can get and stuff. You need it from them. But
I think in my little world, like Sci-Fi Weekender is the best. I go there and I feel absolutely amazing, and then some random on YouTube who doesn't even know the genre or the context or what a womble is comes along and be like, what is this pile of shit? You're like, oh, and then I'll block them and ban them. Then they'll create a new account and they'll come back. I'm like, oh my god, just leave me alone. So, but you can't, there's other, this person that was having a go about me smashing up buildings, which I wasn't. All my friends were like, oh, just block her. And I was like, I can't, I'm a business. I can't, I have to deal with this properly. So there's all of that sort of things comes into it. But that was, I just seen the time as well. I need to talk more about my. No,
I'm sorry. That was me getting you off on an ADHD thing. That's why I find it very interesting. Let's talk about this forever.
I will message you later. But so last August I shot an amazing music video as Sarah Myers, and you can find that. It was called Take a Chance, and nobody really asked me about the title. I know it was called Take a Chance on Me, because Take a Chance, everyone thought it'd be an ABBA remix. So it was Take a Chance on Me. And the idea was, the video was kind of filmed like, oh, take a chance on me, kind of risk and everything. But actually, it was speaking out to those in the music industry to take a chance on me. It was a personal kind of like, look, I'll show you. Yeah. So that was quite the irony there. It was quite funny. So that was August. I shot the music video. And then back end of August, I do a huge steampunk event, the Asylum in Lincoln, which is the world's largest steampunk festival. Which was mental, and I kind of did a show the Friday night, and the Saturday what did I do the Saturday? My baps were out without the plane.
Get your baps out.
Sort of Monty Python, Carry On. It's all very funny. We do a lot of carry on exercises, kind of like Barbara Windsor style things. Right. Blackadder, very much. I kind of get people marching, and I've got this cane, and kind of. Then we all wear moustaches as well once they graduate as pilots. And then they get given a nipple award, which stands for the National Institute of Professional Piloting License. So they get us a little certificate.
So you got baps and you got nipples.
Exactly, baps and nipples. And some people have done it more than once. They've got a pair of nipples now. So it becomes, and I liked the idea. So actually, I quite think as a businesswoman, my acumen's, pretty good, because the idea is now that events book me as Madam Misfit, but I can also extend, you can have me daytime, my family friendly BAP show, and plus the overhead jokes that work quite well in the world, and so I like that. And then I bring a circus along. I like this idea that I kind of a one-stop shop, so for doing bits and bobs. But yeah, that was sort of the August. We had some more circus in between, and then my nerd nights, which are like my very new exciting thing, and that was literally teaming up with wonderful Adam Colclough. Oh, has he been on here before?
He has once.
Yes,
we should get him back on again, actually, because he's a good laugh.
Literally. So me and Adam, we met last November. No, not last November. It was
November before last.
Yeah, when Sci-Fi was just the first one back after lockdown, wasn't it? And my gosh, like literally we clicked like that. He's literally my brother, like from another
He was in the Maldives you were talking about Lanzarote Christmas. He was in the Maldives last Christmas, I think.
I think he's flying back as we speak now. I think he's on his way back. And he does that every year. But literally our connections and our kind of pros and how we work with each other like is amazing. So his world for circus and nerditry, so I think was just a natural thing. And you came along and I think it was a bloody success. So it was an amazing little reunion for the sci-fi community to come together in Sheffield, where we shot it. And Adam did his wonderful bubble kind of bubble thing, and Will It Sink or Float, as well as the nerdy bits. And then we did a little tribute to Fallout, didn't we? Did you like
that? I mean, I was not expecting Adam to be such a good singer. He really surprised me, and I was really impressed at his singing. I was not expecting that.
No, that was cute. So Adam sung I don't want to set the world on fire.
Oh, wow.
On fire.
Yeah.
And then I came on halfway through. You do that really well, by the way.
I felt like I was listening to that song. Yeah, that was really good.
Without even I knew the words. So he came and sang on with my old mic, and then I played the clarinet halfway through instead of the little talkie thing that happens halfway through the track. Yes, we did that halfway through. I think that ended the first half, and it was just a really well thing. So we are doing our next one. We will be kind of advertising it more, but it is going to be in Peterborough. We decided Peterborough was a lovely little kind of halfway house. I'm just going to try and pull up my little. So it's in September, because I like it to be like 6 months after sci-fi sort of thing. But let me have a look. But yeah, they're called Nerd Nights. And I'll kind of be selling tickets at Sci-Fi Weekend, or have the little QR code sort of thing. 21st of September.
And whereabouts is this?
September.
It'll be in
Peterborough.
Peterborough.
So like a lot of people, when we were asking them what you need and good public transport connections, and Peterborough City Council, actually after my Lincoln Circus big show, so I live in Lincoln, Peterborough City Council contacted me and said, can you come and work with us? And anyway, so hence the Nerd Night will be supported by Peterborough City Council. But not only Peterborough Council themselves, it's actually the guy who headhunted us is Brian Blessed's godson. So he's massively involved in the Doctor Who scene. I think he's a location finder for filmmaking or something. It's all very exciting.
Oh, wow.
So I don't fully understand it in my own way, but what I believe is that he finds locations in Peterborough to sell them out to big film companies. They pay the council, and then the council have to offset it into the arts, and I am the arts, so that's I think how it works. So lovely plans in Peterborough with Nerd Night. But yeah, the QR code and all of that will be coming out, and it'll again be me and Adam and our much funness and reunion. And the idea is that we're going to have control of a venue for the day. So because I know people are keen on board games throughout the day, and then the evening will also turn into the night do and stuff.
Nice.
So, but we had a great time last night. It was crazy golf and escape rooms. I'd never made one out until I shoved myself in a room with 20 nerds. And
I do love it. I do love escape rooms. So it can be very frustrating.
I know Gavin, who's one of is really into escape. He does escape rooms like bam, 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 all day. And
I was in with Gavin,
yeah, he does the stuff, and he's going to be out also at Sci-Fi Weekend and running the board games section.
Is this Gavin Thomas?
No, Gavin Jones.
Gavin Jones. Okay. Sorry, there's a
Yeah.
Gavin Thomas in the comments who said hiya. And
Yeah.
Antonio the Great being playing Fallout so much recently and thinking about missing that moment every time I hear that song.
Yeah, I think it needs to. I think I'll have to see if Adam will do a comeback at Sci-Fi and sing for his first time.
Oh,
it was beautiful.
It's really good. He's really, really good. So I was like genuinely surprised. I was not expecting that from Adam.
And like a little bit of surprise. Again, it was one of these little mad 2 a.m. ideas. I was like, I wonder if, and then it just happened. I think it's going to be a staple now. So yeah, there's a few other songs off the Fallout scene that he keeps sending me. So we should do this together. I was like, okay, so we shall say.
Excellent.
on a sort of kind of slightly random note, but kind of segueing in from your Blind Blessed's, was it his son? He said is
Godson,
yeah. So it has no relation to them whatsoever. But my brain's kind of linked it to something else. But my mum told me this Christmas, you know, Jamie Dornan, the actor Jamie Dornan, who was in 50 Shades of Grey. The Irish actor,
yes.
50 Shades of Grey actor, yeah, he's in a lot of things recently. He was in Belfast, and Irish actor. My mom's like, I've kissed his dad. I was like, what? And she's like, yeah. So his dad is a doctor, or was a doctor, and and my mum's English, so she must have done it when she was in Northern Ireland with my father. And I was like, she's like, I kissed his dad on New Year's Eve one night, and I was like, really? And she always, every time she sees him on TV, she brings it up. And I'm like, where was Dad?
I found out that my mother-in-law used to date the lead singer of Tears for Fears.
Wow.
That's hilarious. So
Wow.
yeah,
Mad.
especially that's a funny old thing. But but yeah, I think like Nerd Night was September. I've done some wonderful little self-ran gigs this year, so it's nice that Gavin's in the comment, because I did one in Birmingham, and self-run gigs are my new thing. So because I haven't got a promoter, it's really hard to get into some venues without someone representing you. So the hardest work is when I have to self-promote my own things, and literally every ticket goes personally. And there was a gorgeous little venue in Birmingham called The Tilt, and it's a pinball cafe. It's absolutely amazing, and supporting the arts, they let you have the room for free, and they just take the bar, which for us is an absolute blessing. But my God, I had to drive through the centre of Birmingham on the tram lines. Like I was driving past New Street, like literally screaming to unload all my PA and stuff. But I had a room, I had a mixture of steampunk nerds, and then there's this total mum group at the back, these ladies in their 50s. We have no idea what to expect, and they were like leading the conga line with the peacock headdress on. It was just like, it was amazing. I was like, yes, like to do a convert like thing. And I did a gig recently. That was it. So the last gig of the year was the Blues Harvest holiday special that I did over in Preston, and that was amazing, absolutely amazing. But that was a totally brand new audience for me.
You haven't done Manchester yet, have you?
No, I've never done that. No, but kind of that side. So I'm originally from Chester.
All right, okay. Chester's a nice
but
city.
Madam Misfit. Yeah, well, yeah, it's gorgeous, but I get a bit nervous about going to too brand new. You know, it's nice to have some people that can support you there. My good eggs, as I call them.
Right,
Gavin was a good egg at Birmingham, and so now that I've done Preston once, I'm like, right, okay, so that pushes me a little bit into the northwest, kind of maybe like Liverpool, Manchester, that sort of bit. But and then so yes, I mean, Blues Harvest were absolutely amazing to work with, and they've mentioned maybe me joining them on a thing or two, which would be amazing. Love that. So that was epic. And there was a guy who started it. He was called 8-Bitch, and he was playing like Casio calculators, but they were wired in, and I could, it was above me. It was well above me.
There's actually a scene to that, and I can't remember what it's called, but I remember like back in the early days, Geek Pride, there was what's the name of the place? Arden House or something. Not Arden House, that's the name of my doctor's. But it's something like, there's one, it was sort of in Manchester, but they do like a thing where they get Game Boys and, like you said, Casio, and they create music using these things, and it's mad. It's just like, it's retro music, but they're using like Game Boys and things like that. It's really good.
It was crazy. The hard thing was like, it needed to be like screened up onto a projector, because this guy's just here doing all the stuff, hence why it kind of went over my head. And it wasn't until Adam explained what was going gone. He's like literally my nerd translator. I'm like, oh, okay, that's what's happening. So as I jump out with a mustache and a box of sweets, I'm kind of like, you know, it's I'm so mad. I literally like, and that was the weirdest thing, because obviously everyone Preston Way is like full on Blues Harvest and a lot of the other bands, and I was like, and now for something totally different. Like yeah, it was epic. It was a way to properly finish the year. Was really lovely. And the guys in that band are amazing. But yeah, I mean, this year holds an America thing. So if you want to know more about that, join Patreon. But I'm not even allowed to tell them yet. It's that secret. America got cancelled on me. I was meant to be out there in a couple of weeks. It all got cancelled. But then
I'm trying to think what's going. I'm not guessing, so at least I push you in a predicament. But I'm trying to think about what's going on in America in the next couple of months and stuff.
It's not a sci-fi thing.
Oh, right, okay.
Steampunk thing. So I think, but yeah, this year, because I was going to do Edinburgh Fringe, that was my big thing for the year. So I was ready. I was writing the material, so I'd blanked out most of August, and then this kind of came in. I was like, well, thankfully, actually, I turned away a lot of work, so I can go to America. So those of you who, because I went to Glasgow last year, finally went and met the Steampunks of Glasgow, bless them, and I kind of was announced, yes, I'm coming to do Edinburgh Fringe, but I won't be this year, but it will happen. It's on my big old bucket list, that and crowd surfing.
You've never crowd surfed before?
No, but if you come
sci-fi weekender.
I'm bringing a dinghy. I'm bringing a dinghy.
Back in the day, when I was but a young whippersnapper going to gigs, crowd surfing was all I went for. I didn't even care what the band was, as long as I could crowd surf. I thought it was the best thing ever. Until one fateful day where I was watching. It was Reef. I think it was Reef of all people and stuff. Again, they had this big thing in Belfast. It was like a festival thing outside. And crowd surfing back in Northern Ireland, you're not allowed to do it. You get kicked out as soon as they grab you and stuff. So I was always like, get to the front and then getting down and then sort of going back. But this one, I figured out that you could crowd surf and they would kick you out, but they would take you outside and you could just run right round again and get back in. So I was doing this. I would crowd surf, get kicked out, come back round again, come in, do it 3 or 4 times. The bouncers were getting really annoyed with me because they were kicking out the same guy every time. And then I remember trying to crowd surf, and I can't remember what song it was. I just remember it was Reef, and I got dropped on my back, and the bouncer fucking laughed his ass off at me and stuff. He said, and that's what you get for that. And I was like, oh, okay, fine, all right. So I didn't crowd surf after that. Lesson learned. Geez.
I know, yeah, but I'm so like, I want to say I'm like a responsible. So there's this person, like we're saying, juggling with my two brains. Like I really want to crow myself and not give two shits, but then there's part of me like, no, there's children out there and there's people that will really struggle. Yeah, so I've told Adam, like, can you warn people that this is going to happen if they don't feel physically able to?
As this big,
and then it kills the buzz.
And you go down, you fly down. I've seen so many videos of people crowd surfing and then the crowd just parting and then just going boom and then flying in.
I know. Well, I have visions at Sci-Fi Weekender. We've all got our own caravans, isn't there? I was like, as long as nobody kidnaps me and literally takes me back to the caravan.
I think Teddy's going to run out with the dinghy on.
I know, this is what I mean. I'll bet you like kind of kidnapped and off I go.
The guy from Papa Roach, when we were sort of young and in university, we went, when Papa Roach were a big band, he used to tape his shoes to his feet because there was a thing about people stealing his shoes and stuff like that when he crowd surfed.
I've heard about that. Well, like the idea, I went to see Rammstein last year, and they had like a separate stage in the middle of the arena, and then they got in the dinghy. I was like, I want that. They also had a giant penis that squirted foam, but I'm not
oh man,
Rammstein are fantastic,
and a lot of fire. Their stage presence. I mean, I wasn't really into their music. Like my other half got the tickets, and I went with him. But I was like, my God, what a show! Showmanship.
Oh yeah,
wow.
I've been to gigs like that where you've just like, I'm not into this music, but they're fucking amazing for what they do.
I saw them at Nottingham Ice Arena, and it took them 5 days just to reset the ice because there was so much fire.
Jesus. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't I wasn't in it's not called the Inferno pit, is it? But there's like the front row bit where you lose your eyebrows. But I could feel the heat where I was.
Yeah.
I was like, oh
Yeah,
my
you could
God.
feel waves of heat just coming straight across the arena.
Immense. I love the idea. I mean, their keyboardist just walks on a treadmill. I love the bazaar. I think that's my brain was in like overdrive. I was like, I need that. What? Yeah, I need a pram with a baby in it covered in flies. I need all of that. Yeah, props. I think that's the one thing I've kind of, now that being a solo artist and keeping the attention of an audience looking at you for 45 minutes, an hour solidly, means I either need to move more, which I am known for running around, or bigger props like planes. Like, so it literally like, because like when I work with bands, I always feel like really like, oh, I'm a tiny little one man person, like trying to, and there's always that hard. I would love to headline things, but there's always that thing like bands will always top me. I'll always support a band, and it's trying to make that's my next aim really as an artist, is to kind of get above the bands. So I need to be doing these weird, wonderful, and holy, beautiful things. And
Absolutely.
I think the way I'm sort of like realizing Madam Misfit is by inspiring people. The amount of people that come forward with these wonderful stories, or how they've used my music to help them gear them through these times, and just this not caring, and having this just sense of, I don't know, a little bit of craziness, in this such chaotic world we're in at the moment. Then just kind of releasing that inner child is actually the perfect, promotional tool. And it's just me being me, really. So so that's my sort of big aim. I'm not saying it's going to happen this year, but that's my goal, is to beat the bands and get on the top, I think. So,
yeah, nice one.
Yeah, why not? So little me doing my thing.
Absolutely. Definitely. Yeah, I mean, well, I'm looking forward to seeing the dinghy aside from weekend.
I know. Are you going to get like a child's one?
I feel like I need to go now just to see that, just for the dinghy.
Go big. I'll go home. It's where
big swan. I could get a giant swan. No,
oh God,
rubber duck or something. Yeah, it will happen. Yeah, and I think I know what song I'm going to do, because it's going to be hard to try and sing in it.
I think what Rammstein did was kind of did it during a instrumental bit, so just kind of like just surf the dinghy around the crowd, and just kind of
mine's quite a chanty thing. It'd be a cover, but I think it'd be quite a good. I think to have everyone in it together invested, it needs to be a big song.
Antonio says he's looking forward to that, so I guess it's done now. You've got to do it.
Yeah, he's coming. Yeah, he's coming. He's heard it first, and Anthony's one of my Patreons, one of the valid, the mighty, the biscuits I have. So my Patreon again was something I wanted to do last year, and it's been really good. It's been kind of like for those little secrets that I haven't been able to tell people, they all know. And they're kind of my biscuit barrel, so I just have one level, so I kind of wanted it to be accessible for everyone, unlike all these massive Patreon kind of things. It's just £3 a month, which is the cost of a coffee, and you get everything, because I can't handle the stress of someone paying me £20 a month and then thinking, oh crap, I haven't given extra. That exactly. So everyone's a rich tea. So now when I go to events and people are bringing me up rich tea biscuits, or I've had little biscuit like badges made for me and stuff, it's really cute. So it's really nice that I've got this little collective, little community that I can kind of whisper. I say I'm off for a little nibble in the biscuit barrel, and off I go and have a little chat with them and stuff. And
how can people find your Patreon?
Oh, just literally put Madam Misfit into Patreon, or if you're on like Instagram, I've got a link tree to everything. So either there's only one Madam Misfit, thank goodness.
There's
only
one.
Thank goodness. Could you imagine?
You don't have to cut anybody's head off.
I found when just about 6 months after I started out as a writer, there already was a Peter Allison, an Australian writer, and since then there's also become a DJ called Pete Allison. So now I have to be Peter Ray Allison, just to differentiate.
Well, you're always going to be Peter Ray Allison to me, Pete. That's
thank you very much.
You are Peter Ray Allison.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it's handy for me, the name. I mean, I don't know. I discovered the name on a whim, really. I was kind of like, again, but thankfully it's a name that actually hasn't aged, or I'm still enjoying, and it kind of is both of, you know, that misfit does kind of go with the whole ADHD thing as well, and the madam thing is kind of like when I work a lot of circus or cabaret or burlesque sort of thing. So yeah, no, I love the kind of idea of it, and kind of I've got, this year is all about bringing color into my life. Like my music is very colorful, but actually a lot of my kind of promotional stuff isn't much, which is just silly. I don't know why the two never married up. So I've got a very exciting photo shoot happening in a couple of weeks where a little bit of a nod to a certain Ziggy Stardust will be playing.
Nice.
Yeah, so I'm having all that done at the moment, which is, I've just got to buy lots of outfits. So you mentioned outfits before, and I'm a sucker.
Yeah, cause, I mean, yeah, because you got like gold jumpsuit.
Yeah, I've got a gold one. That's actually fetish wear. Would you know? That's like,
wow,
you go
Pete
on
does
Amazon.
like a bit of fetish.
Yeah.
Go on Amazon and type in like gold fetish wear. And it comes, so it's actually all see-through. Like there's little holes. I wear leggings and a black top underneath it. But yeah, you can get it in black, gold, red. So I think there should. I'm waiting for someone to cosplay me at Sci-Fi in my little like. But I've started wearing these little zip tie crowns, which. So they annoy Adam because he didn't realize they were made out of zip ties, and I'm kind of like, they're very effective, they look really cool, but I was going to make them as merchandise, and I might, but they should come with a warning because I've stabbed people in the eyes so many times, like, and I was like, I can't be responsible for that. If I arm you all at Sci-Fi Weekender with these like literal head Trojans, like, kind of, you know, it's not worth it. So I might make like little mini ones, but yeah. So no, I've got the gold, the one piece. I've got the multicolour Sarah Myers one, which I wore. Yeah,
that was beautiful.
I wore that. I've got a lot of shoulder feathers, and then I've got a lot of, well, this will be my new one as well, to bring a little bit of colour in and stuff. But yeah, I love a good outfit. I got a lot of circus stuff as well, circus leotards, and yeah, I kind of, this is the idea. As Madam Misfit grows, I don't have to be just known for wearing that hat and that jacket. I want to just be known mainly for just having red hair is the sort of thing in my music. So yeah, I think so. But no, it's exciting. I don't know, who knows, in 12 months time I'll probably be talking about something.
Will be our first guest as tradition
we will start in 2025.
Yeah. Madam,
yeah.
What is Madam Misfit doing in 2025?
2025. I've already got bookings. Would you believe it?
Wow, that's good.
I know, but it's getting to the point. Like my husband's like, sometimes I wish you weren't so successful because literally we can't do anything. Like you know, friends invite us to things and stuff. I'm really sorry, but I'm doing this show.
I'm a career
and
girl.
I am. I'm so driven. Like music is my biggest passion. I never switch off. Like my dictaphone on my phone is so. I mean, today I've been writing this. I'm just not that good with name songs about Dave. It's all in little bits on my phones and stuff, and harmonies and melodies, and like. Between leaving the RAF and doing this full time, I was a GP receptionist, and oh my god, I hated it so much. Like, I think that's when I realized I cannot leave music. It's in me. It's absolutely part of me. It's my language. I can't switch off. So but yeah, it's an exciting year, and I'm pretty happy that till the end of September I'm pretty much chocker. It's amazing. But if anybody is listening out there brand new, I mean, I'm on everything other than Twitter, X. I don't know what it's. X.
Yeah, it's a dying platform now. I think we use it.
I'm not on that, and I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok either.
You're not on TikTok, you know? No, you need it.
I think I'd get too addicted to that.
It is addictive. I've got 3 accounts: one for history, one for nerdy stuff, and one for my dog, which is technically mine, but it's my dog's. And yeah,
and the dog's most successful.
Yeah, well, that's right. The Geek Pride one's got 1,000. My history one's got like 6,000. My dog's got 146,000, and it's just
Jesus. Yeah. And do you? I see TikTok straight away for me it's just filled with videos of you doing little dances, is it?
No, it's basically the videos that go wild are basically my dog doing Indian dog things. Anything of any interest, import, or of any substance where I put thought into it nobody is interested. My dog coming in out of the snow gets 14 million views. My dog doing something stupid, gets 1 million views. Me trying to pull my dog because he's been an asshole gets 1 million views, whereas me sort of trying to talk to them about sort of not abandoning dogs and being a good sort of dog owner and things like that. Yeah, a couple of thousand views,
nothing.
and it's just like
yeah. I think that's what I used to get really bogged down, especially the things I really take a lot of time over, and then you look at the algorithms and you kind of, I don't massively get into all the stats and stuff, but it really saddens me when like I put a lot of time and effort into something, or I'm really trying to push a new thing, and you're kind of like, why are you fighting against me, Meta? Like, what's so mailing lists have been my new thing this year, and so far I've been quite successful. And I said after that it's fax machines and then carrier pigeons. That's the route I'm going.
Yeah,
literally.
it's quite like I was upset. I was obsessing about sort of like, especially with Geek Pride early days and stuff, and then it just got to the point where I stopped caring about it and stuff. It's just like it was taking an effect on me enjoying doing this and stuff like that. And now it's like, it is what it is. We get what we get. If people are into it, brilliant. If they're not, they're not. And I just sort of we just kind of do our thing. But yeah, TikTok again. I don't my history when I just go in and do it when I want. The problem you get is if you get a viral video, especially one where you're getting 14 million views and stuff, and you're actually making some money off it, you're just like, I kind of want to do that again. That was awesome.
Yeah.
When you've got
how can you replicate that?
And then
you're chasing
you try and you can't, and then down like half a year down the line, some random video of yours just pops off or something, and I'm just like, for fuck's sake, didn't even put any effort into that one. That just did it. So it is what it is. People like what they like, and it's just it is.
It's always going to be that way, but yeah, that's it. I think this year is just basically going to be all about a lot of color, new music, and I've mentioned that I'm going to write a third album, but the way my books looked when I counted them last week, kind of like maybe not, but there'll definitely be new music at my shows, and if the release is postponed to next year, then that's fine. But new music, new shows, and a crowd surf.
Excellent.
Oh, cool.
What a year.
Right. Well, it's been a pleasure. Before you go, actually, so do you want to give us so where can people find you?
Well, the easiest way is just literally Google Madam Misfit. Go into whatever platform you like the best. So Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, Instagram. You can find me all of those. I think SoundCloud's got a few bits on there as well. Or just my website, www.madammisfit.co.uk. And Madam without an E. I'm not that posh. So
Madame.
Madame. No, it's not that. So Madam Misfit. And on there, you literally can find everything from my Patreon links through to music videos, photo shoots, and everything, and booking requests.
Even better.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure. It's been really good having you back on again. We'll see you first thing 2025 for our traditional intro to the year. But yeah, thank you very much for me being Matt Geary. With me has been my co-host Peter A. Allison.
Good night, everyone.
And our special guest, starter of the year, Madam Misfits.
Hey, have a good one, guys.
Bye.